Hey guys, Craig here with geektech.ie, back with another video, and today we're taking a look at the HTC One M9. This is HTC's latest flagship smartphone, which comes after the M8, which includes an upgraded camera, upgraded internal specs, and some slightly different changes on the design itself. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to give a quick run through on different aspects, including the design, the specifications, what we like about it, what we dislike about it, and pretty much just an overall overview of the entire phone after using it for the last couple of weeks. So I hope you like the video. We have another gameplay video as well, which you can check out, which just pretty much shows off some gameplay performance on the HTC One M9 and how the Snapdragon 810 handles the performance and such. But we'll get more into that as we get through the review anyway. So this is just a quick introduction. We're going to move over here and just going to show you the box and such. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is the box that the HTC One M9 comes in, and this is the one that the sample is sent out, so there might be some slight variation between this and the one that retail units are, but most of the contents will be the same. You will obviously get a manual and such as well, so pretty much straightforward. You get the phone, charger, 2-amp charger I believe it is, but I also believe they have quick charge support now. So I'm just going to open this up and check real quick what type of volts we're looking at here. I'm guessing this is the bog standard one because this just says output is 5 volts, 1.5 amps. Doesn't seem to be any different, so I don't think this is a quick charge unit. You also get a set of earphones, in-ear earphones, HTC branded ones, and obviously a micro USB cable, and a little metal part there just for removing the micro SIM and micro SD slot. So that's pretty much it for the box. Again, nothing really any different than previous boxes, nothing flashy, but again, just something in case anyone was wondering what it looks like. So let's move on to the phone itself. Okay, this is the HTC One M9. The first thing we want to talk about is the specs, and then move over to the design of the phone and what has changed over the HTC One M8 from last year. So first things first is the dimensions of the device, which is 144.6 long ways, 69.7 millimeters width, and 9.6 millimeters thick. So basically what we're looking at here is that it is shorter in both aspects, but it's slightly thicker as well. So that's pretty much the only differences between the device now and the M8 from last year. Weight is 157 grams, which is just down 3 grams from last year. So overall the dimensions aren't that much different, and the weight is pretty much the same. The design itself has changed a little bit, which we're going to get into more, but other specs for the device include 5-inch display, 1080p, again, no real difference there. Internally we have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 810 chipset, which is the big little architecture. So we've got a quad-core 2.0 gigahertz Cortex A57 and quad-core 1.5 gigahertz Cortex A53 and the Adreno 430 graphics. We have 32 gigabytes internal storage and a micro SD slot, which the M8 was the one to introduce. We also have 3 gigabytes of RAM as well. The other changes, so basically I want to talk about the changes that we have from this device over the M8 spec wise. So HTC have gotten rid of the ultra pixel camera on the back, which with our review of the M8, which was pretty much our only drawback over the differences. We loved every aspect of the M8. Its design was fantastic. They introduced a micro SD card, great choices there, but the ultra pixel camera was the exact same as the M7, slight differences I think, but not enough to warrant an upgrade. But now they've gotten rid of the ultra pixel camera and they've gone with a steady 20.7 megapixel with HDR support in 4K. There's no optical image stabilization, but again, it's still a very, very good upgrade. But we'll talk about that more in a while. We also have the dual tone LED flash there in the back as well. The other difference here, the front here, is we actually had the 4 megapixel ultra pixel camera here. So basically HTC decided that the extra pixel size will help the light performance on front facing camera, and they're 100% correct there. So that's pretty much the main differences, other than the obvious chipset differences on the inside. Design wise, HTC have done a little bit of a difference. So basically we don't have a singular curve going around the edge here. We actually have a kind of a flat edge with an indent that looks to separate the front part and the back part of the device. Ultimately, the only difference that this makes is it makes it easier to grip. The HTC M8 had a slight problem of it, not being easy enough to grip, and then it felt like it would slip because the curve was very, like, it affected how you would hold the phone. But now, because we've got a flat edge here, it is much nicer. And again, not much different, but enough that it makes a difference with grip and such. But nonetheless, it is an absolute gorgeous looking phone, and HTC have, again, they've nailed their design, and they've gone with the whole metal look and feel and such. And it stems from the M8, which was a fantastic design overall. So we're 100% impressed with that, and definitely think that HTC have made a great choice overall with the design of the M9. Again, though, the main concern here for some people will be that it's not much of a difference over the M8. But what we're going to do now is we're just going to take a run through the device, and we're just going to show it off just so you guys can see it. I'll zoom in there a little bit so you guys can see it better. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but hopefully it will. So on the left side we have just we've got a kind of this is the kind of silver and goldish side look here. On the left side we have the micro SIM or nano SIM slot, as you can see there, which is hidden away, and it uses the pin. Nothing else on the left side of the device, all metal. On the top we have the infrared receiver, but we've got a whole like plastic transparent, semi-transparent, or I guess it's extremely dark, but that's where the infrared sensor is hidden behind. I'm hoping you guys can see that okay. I don't know if it's focusing properly on it. Let me just check that. So you guys can see it. I'll just get it from this angle here. I'm just going to raise the camera real quick, just so this will focus better. Okay, so there is the top of the device. As you can see, we've got this kind of a black film plastic right around the top of it, and the infrared sensor is embedded in there. On the right side we have a lot of action here. As you can see, we've got the micro SD slot. We have the volume rockers, and then we have the power button. So the power button has moved from the top of the device down to the side of the device, which works really well. But because this is Android 5.0, the hardware is in there for double tap to wake, and obviously double tap to put it away if it's on the lock screen. So not much else on the right side of the device. Again, we have the gold, like bronzy gold on this side as well. And then on the bottom we have the micro USB MHL 2.0 USB host, all that slot, and the 3.5mm slot as well, as you can see. I'll just get that to focus there. Again, the gold band goes right around as well. And that's pretty much it for the design. I mean, it's again, it's not much different than the HTC M8. They still have that same one piece of metal that's been cut for each device. That takes a good while apparently to cut. We've still got that same one piece cut here at the back, so there's no joins. And then you can see the plastic internal parts for the antennas and such. Then we have the HTC logo right there on the back. But again, not much different than the HTC M8 in terms of design, just that slight variation there with the sides where we've kind of got an indent rather than a complete curve. So anyone who's familiar with the M8 will know exactly what we're talking about right now. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for design. Again, not much has changed. We still have the front facing stereo speakers as well. The sound quality hasn't changed much at all with them. They are slightly I wouldn't say they're louder, but I think they're slightly cleaner, I think is the best way to say it. And then we've got obviously the sensors and the 4-megapixel ultra pixel camera that we talked about earlier on. But that's pretty much it for the design of the phone. Again, not much has changed. It is slightly shorter and slightly thinner. or less width, I guess, but it is slightly thicker, I guess is the best way to say it. And that's pretty much the design. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to run through the UI of the device, and I'm going to show you off some of the themes and a benchmark or two, and just to give you the idea of the performance it has, and hopefully that people will get an idea of what this device can offer. But again, you can check out the gameplay video as well, just in case. I'll throw a link to that in the description, and you can get an idea from that as well. So let's move on now. Okay, now we're going to take a look at the UI for the HTC One M9, and we are using Android 5.0, which the phone comes with stock. There's no update for or anything like that. So HTC have gone with a similar aspect to the Sense that we've used before, but there are some new additions. First thing in the home screen I want to talk about is the home and work and out thing. So basically you've got a bunch of shortcuts for different apps that you use. So if you switch from one to the other, you'll have a different set of apps, ones that you use differently for different uses. So if you're in work, you're going to be using mail or note taking or calendar and such more than you would at home or if you're out. So basically that's just a quick idea here, is that you can switch to it automatically, and you can switch between the two or the three, and you have a different set of shortcuts right there available to you. That's just one thing that HTC have shown off. But most, again, we have the double pull down shortcuts, so you've got all your basic Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile, brightness and such right there as well. Again, not much different than what we've seen before from HTC in the past, but one of the cool features that we do like is the themes, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So HTC have included a bunch of different themes in the device. So the one we're using right now, I believe is Tilt. As you can see, it's completely black and such, and even the dialer and such has changed, and basically gives the entire device a new look, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So I think HTC have done a great job there. So basically anyone can make a theme and upload it and such. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to jump in here to the ones that include. I'm going to switch over to another one. Yep, I believe this one's already downloaded. So once the theme is applied, again, most aspects of it, even the buttons down here, are completely different. As you can see, it looks completely different. The colors and such are different. So I think this is a pretty neat feature to be included as standard, and there's no needing to add your own launchers or anything like that. So HTC have done a great job for an extra level of customization with themes, because the amount of things that it changes, I think, is absolutely gorgeous. This is the app launcher. It's very standard. Again, the themes do change color aspects of it, but it's still swipe up and down, and it's straightforward. But yeah, that's one of the things I love about this UI, is that the themes add a great deal of customization to it. You do have your quick launch, your notifications. Another thing is the double tap to wake up the device. It's a feature we've seen before with the LG G3. So again, a lot of cool features in there UI wise, but not much that we've seen any different from Android 5 on other devices, or the M8 for instance. A lot of the UI aspects of it is the same, but it's very clean and it's very quick and works flawlessly. There's no slowdown or anything like that. And again, the themes, I just absolutely love them. I think they're a great idea, and you can mess around with them, customize them, and there's so much you can do with them, and there's a ton available. So it's a nice little feature to see on a launcher that allows you to take advantage of other people uploading themes and such. So it's a great little aspect of this device. But yeah, everything is smooth, buttery smooth, as you'd expect nowadays. The settings and all hasn't really changed. We still have the same fluid look here, as you can see. So again, it's great, it works. I've no issues with it. It's a very clean launcher. Nothing really gets in the way. There's no real bloatware or anything like that. They do have the highlights and such that we've seen before, but you don't need to use that. I believe you can disable that if you wish. You have all your highlights there, auto refresh, news reading. Actually, I'm not sure if you can disable that, but you can customize your own thing. But again, it doesn't get in the way or anything like that, so I quite like it. But yeah, so that's pretty much the UI for the device. I'm going to run in now, and I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to run a quick Geekbench 3 benchmark. You can see the specs there, just in case. I don't know, blah blah blah, 3 gigahertz. We're running Android 5.0.2, so I believe that was on it when I got it. So I haven't updated or anything like that. I don't know if that comes with its stock or if you were hit with another one at launch. But yeah, we're just going to run through this benchmark here on the phone. Okay, so that's pretty much the results right there for Geekbench, which are pretty much on par or slightly lower than what we got from the M8. But the main aspect of the Snapdragon 810 is battery performance, where it has the big little architecture, where we have a quad-core 1.5 gigahertz and a quad-core 2.0 gigahertz in there. So I'm just getting rid of some of these messages here. But yeah, okay, so performance, again, it's absolutely fantastic. I haven't run into any issues, but again, you can check the gameplay videos and you can see that for yourself. All the games played smoothly, and the device does get pretty warm in the back here, but during the games I didn't really run into any issues. Like, the phone didn't shut down or anything, it didn't get too warm. It might get a little bit warmer obviously if you're running benchmarks and such, but the gameplay was absolutely fine. It does get warm to the touch, but not to a point where I would feel like I need to put it down or anything like that. It's just something I'm used to, I guess, with phones and such, where they've gotten hot in the past. But again, not an issue. Performance is grand. I haven't run into any severe issues due to overheating or performance not being good enough. So yeah, I'm glad to see that performance is grand. One other thing I wanted to talk about was, as I've gone out of my head there, but anyway, yeah, performance is grand. Yeah, during the gameplay, I used the USB on-the-go cable, so that's support if you want to connect up a joypad through a cable. I used an Xbox 360 joypad, and it worked grand, so there's no issue there. So that's pretty much it for internals. One thing I want to talk about now is the camera, because HTC have obviously gone for a different camera here. They've gotten rid of the ultra pixel camera that we've seen before, so the depth camera has gone with it as well. Now we have a pretty much straightforward 20 megapixel camera, so they're going for overall quality rather than, you know, extra light performance and such. So I've done all the tests, I've done all the photography, so you can check them out, you can check the videos and such, so you can get an idea yourself. Obviously YouTube will do a bit of damage to the recording on it, including the 4K and such, so just keep that in mind. But overall, I'm impressed with it. I mean, it doesn't have optical image stabilization, which I think is absolutely fantastic on some of the other cameras I've tested in the past. Focusing is quick and the quality is really good. I mean, that's just the way it is. You can check out the photos. All the full high-res ones are included as well, so you can check them out for yourself and get an opinion on them. I don't really do tests on the front-facing camera because I don't think anyone buys a phone based on that at all. But the low-light performance was really, really good. I took some pictures outside in night, and they were very lit up. It got a lot of light in there, and I was impressed by how much it was able to do that. So that's just one thing, just in case anyone's wondering about that. Does it improve low light performance? It 100% does. But the back camera was really, really good. It was fairly stable. I did notice some shake. If I switched to one hand, the shake would obviously get worse. But overall, the quality was there. 4K looked really, really good. The camera app itself is pretty impressive, to say the least. I like the quick being able to flick at any stage through the camera to different modes. So you've got selfie, camera and panorama. Very subtle design, but you do have a decent amount of manual control over, you know, the ISOs, the exposure values, and the full HD fast motion, all the different settings if you want to switch it from auto to HDR and such. So I did like that. The camera is extremely easy to use. The flash is up there in the top left at all times. So overall, the camera app is great and the quality is fantastic. But again, you can check that stuff out for yourself and make the opinion on your own, and you can get an idea of whether or not the camera upgrade is worth it over the M8. So that's pretty much it for the design, the aspect and such. I mean, there's not really much to go into other than our overall conclusion. Battery life has definitely been improved. I think obviously that stems from the Snapdragon chipset, which has obviously taken its abilities and given the HTC an improvement. During our test, which is pretty much a run through of different aspects, which you can see on the full review, I ended up with just over 35% battery left, pretty much what I'm nearly at there today. and that includes all the different things like gameplay, a small bit of gameplay, phone calls, using the camera a little bit, all the checking email, checking YouTube videos, small bit of Netflix and such. Basically, just I do a broad spectrum of different things to really get the idea of the yoke. I use Wi-Fi and 3G, but mostly 3G because I like the idea of testing it towards a person not being having Wi-Fi, or just resulting in that. Obviously, it's going to use more power. Brightness is always set to around 50% or 2 bars in this case. And I just take a few pictures, make a few phone calls and such, and I ended up with about 35% at the end of the day, which is not much better than the HTC One M8, but considering it's that we have a better camera and such, and that, like, I don't know how much power the camera would have used in terms of the previous one, the depth camera and such like that. So, but I'm glad we have a full day usage with medium to heavy usage. With some minor changes, getting rid of the gameplay and such, you would easily get to 2 days. If you lower the brightness a little bit more, or if you cut out gaming, or cut out videos and such, or just cut out the camera. I mean, everyone uses their phone differently throughout the day, so there'll be no really way of discerning that kind of thing. And I would never do like a full video test where I just leave the screen on for as long as possible, because I mean, obviously if you're leaving your phone on standby, doing data connection in the background and such, that will drain the battery, and it's not fair. So just assume that a phone lasting longer on video is going to be better than a phone in your pocket all day. So that's pretty much it for the device. Overall, basically what I think about the HTC One M9 is that it is a great upgrade if you care about more about battery life and the camera, but there isn't that much of a difference compared to the M8. I mean, the main difference there would be the camera. I mean, performance is pretty much identical. That the M8 has, it's got Android 5.0 and such. There's not much software difference, if I guess is the best way to say it. So it's really, if you're looking for a better camera, the M9 is definitely an advantage there. But other than that, there's no real reason to jump from an M8 to an M9 unless you really want a little bit of extra pixels and such in your image. Not to say the M8 had bad quality or anything like that, but there wasn't really much offering there. I mean, as soon as your pictures, and I would like to see HTC do something with the screen. I know they've got the M9 Plus in some countries, which has a little bit larger display with double the resolution. It would have been really nice to see that phone given a little bit more of a launch in other countries. But sadly that's not the case. So again, there's not many differences over this. The design again hasn't changed all that much. So I would definitely recommend it to people who are on the M7, and obviously maybe they were in a 2-year contract, and they were waiting for the M9. So it is worth it in the sense that you do get a better device, but it's not a better device compared to the M8 enough to upgrade to, unless someone was just eager to get a better camera, and I know maybe slightly better battery performance and such. But again, not many differences there. So that's pretty much it for the review of the M9. You can check out the pictures that we've taken, the videos we've done on the YouTube channel, and the link to the full review will be below. We also have the gameplay video as well, which you can see. It's GTA, Dead Trigger 2, GTA San Andreas, and then Modern Combat 5. All done using a joypad, and the camera's pointing at it, so the performance is exactly what you would get if you were using the device yourself. So that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the review. Sorry if it was a little bit longer than what you would expect, but that's pretty much it for our M9 overview and such. I hope you liked the video. Like it if you like it, and if not, of course you can dislike it. But I would appreciate a subscribe if you want. I have more videos coming, including a UAG cover review for the M9, and obviously the Galaxy S6 such videos as well coming next week. So again, this has been Craig with geektech.ie. Thanks for watching.